Welcome back to the Pitwall Pod. We're trackside, virtually trackside, for the second round of pre-season action of the iconic Bahrain International Circuit. The sand is swirling, the long runs are stacking up, and the stopwatch is starting to tell a more honest story. In today's episode, we're breaking down who is showing real pace under the desert lights, which teams are sandbagging, and what the data from this second Bahrain test could mean for the season ahead. From reliability runs to surprise standouts, it's time to separate the headline times from the hidden performance. Strap in. Day 1 of the second 2026 pre-season test is in the books at the Bahrain International Circuit, and it's George Russell who draws first blood. The Mercedes EMG Petronas Formula 1 team driver topped the timesheets with a 1:33.459, edging out Oscar Piastri in the McLaren by just 100 of a second, while Charles Leclerc kept Scuderia Ferrari firmly in the mix after setting the morning benchmark. But as always in testing, the headline time only tells part of the story. We saw aero rakes and flow fizz paint all over the cars, long runs under the cooling desert skies, and even a red flag when Lance Stroll beached his Aston Martin in the gravel at turn 11. Meanwhile, Isaac Hadjar lodged crucial mileage for the Red Bull Racing. For the second straight day at the Bahrain International Circuit, it's Mercedes at the top again, but this time it's sensation Kimi Antonelli stealing the headlines. After George Russell led day 1, Antonelli delivered when it counted, firing in a 1:32.803. Under Shakir lights, the finish quickest on day 2 for the Mercedes EMG Petronas Formula 1 team. He edged Oscar Piastri by just 0.05 of seconds, while Max Verstappen slotted into third after racking up a huge 139 laps for Red Bull Racing, the highest mileage of the day. The story of Tuesday was progression as temperatures dropped and conditions became more representative. The pace ramped up. Lando Norris set the early benchmark in the morning. Verstappen briefly took control in the afternoon. Piastri responded, and then Antonelli delivered late, putting together a clean, confident lap when the track was at its best. There was drama too. A red flag interrupted the session after Fernando Alonso stopped his Aston Martin out on track. Several drivers flirted with the limit as lockups crept in, and soft tyre runs begin to hint that teams are slowly revealing more of their true performances. 2 days down, 1 to go. Mercedes looks consistent, McLaren looked sharp, Red Bull looked relentless and on mileage. But are the silver arrows genuinely setting the early benchmark for 2026? Is McLaren holding something back? And with Verstappen fully back in the program, where exactly do Red Bull stand? The data is building, the picture is forming. 3 days, hundreds of laps, endless long runs, flow fizz paint, soft tire experiments, and now we finally have our final headline from Bahrain, and it belongs to Charles Leclerc. Under the cooling desert night at the Bahrain International Circuit, the Scuderia Ferrari driver delivered a statement lap of 1:31.992, the fastest time not just of day 3 but of the entire 2026 pre-season test. Nearly 9/10 clear of Lando Norris in the McLaren, with Max Verstappen running out top 3 for Red Bull. But as always in testing, the stopwatch only tells part of the story. Ferrari didn't just show one lap pace, they looked stable across long runs too. McLaren split their program, working through setup changes before sending Norris out late for a more representative push lap. Red Bull kept things methodical, focusing on data collection and mileage, and Mercedes prioritized consistency after a small pneumatic issue interrupted. Kimi and Antonelli's morning, though they leave Bahrain having topped 2 of the 3 days overall. Elsewhere, Williams experimented with soft C5 compound. Race simulations unfolded across the field. Aston Martin F1 team ran a limited program following reliability concerns, and once again the session closed with a full practice start procedure, the final dress rehearsal before the lights go out for real. Now the paddock packs up, the flight heads to Melbourne. The question shifts from who's fastest in testing to who's ready to win in Australia. Are Ferrari genuine title contenders? Is McLaren closer than the raw gap suggests? Are Red Bull quietly confident? And where do Mercedes truly stand heading into round 1? Testing is complete, the data is locked, the sand has settled. Next stop is race week. And just like that, pre-season is done. 3 intense days in the desert, thousands of kilometers completed, plenty of questions answered, and maybe even more created. Scuderia Ferrari left Bahrain with the fastest time thanks to Charles Leclerc. Mercedes showed consistency across the week. McLaren looked quietly competitive, and Red Bull did what Red Bull always do: gather the data and stay in the fight. But testing times don't score points. With 2026 pre-season testing now complete, the cars will next be seen on track in Melbourne when the 24-round calendar kicks off in 2 weeks' time at the iconic Albert Park circuit. That's when the sandbagging ends. That's when the real pace shows, and that's when we find out who's truly ready for 2026. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow us on Instagram at Empowered Paddock, TikTok Around the World in 24 Tracks, and YouTube Lights Out with Hanne. And let us know, who do you think is heading into Australia as favorites? We'll be back very soon.